So welcome back, everyone. So in the previous series, what we had focused on was understanding routes. And now if you look at our three packages, not three, but two. So this was the basic navigation where we introduced route handling navigation with routes. And basically, same thing for home, that was passing arguments. So we introduced the create route function within the route. So in today's series, we want to understand about nested navigation. So what comes into mind about when you hear about nested navigation is graph grouping. So we can group screens. Maybe we have screens for authentication screens, maybe login, forgot password, and sign up. And then we can have maybe payment screens, maybe checkout, balance query, request money, those kind of. So, but in today's series, we're just going to create a very simple another package. Let's call it nested navigation. And within the nested navigation, so I'm going to create a new screen, or maybe in our main navigation. So we're going to have the main navigation. We're also going to have authentication graph, and let's just call it the home graph. So the home graph will just contain profile and home, and the authentication graph will contain login, sign up, and forgot password. So I'm just going to create one called main navigation. So main navigation. I'm going to duplicate this, create another one called authentication navigation graph. Again, I'm going to create one for now the app graph. So authentication, but the main navigation graph, you can say home navigation graph. So we can have two graphs. Graph. So these two graphs, the authentication graph, everything will be controlled from the main navigation. So actually they're not classes. So we'll just edit out those. Now let's first build our navigation, or let's first build our screens. So I'm going to create another package. Let me just create another package for screens. And then I'm going to move, okay, let me just create another screen here. So let's create our home screen. And then I'm also going to create, copy and paste. I'm also going to create our authentication screens, our auth screens. Okay, so I'm going to move authentication and home. I'm going to move this into the screens package, just refactor that. And then I'm going to create another package called navigation. I'm just trying to make it look cleaner so that we only have two packages within nested navigation. Move them here and refactor. So the reason why I'm keeping these screens, these ones, is because we will later on update everything back to the main navigation 3. Now, going back to screen, so let's just build something very basic. Let's start with authentication screens. So open our preview and have a composable. So we can say login screen. So we're going to have preview. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it here, and add preview screen, and say show background to 2. And the other thing will be just say login screen, call login screen here. So I'm going to remove this here and just align that. So I'm going to have our column, and just a second, this column, we're going to have a modifier which will take the entire parent. So modifier, which will be fill screen. And once we reload this now, we should be able to see some preview. So while that is building, so what I'm going to do is we're going to add a text here, which will say our text will be login screen. And we want to center this. So don't know why the build is taking long. So we can also increase the font size to maybe 30.sp. And let me see what's wrong here. Don't know why the build is taking so long, but we can have a vertical arrangement of center, and we can have horizontal alignment to alignment of center horizontally. So from the login screen, we want to go to home. So we're going to work under assumption that you've been able to authenticate the application successfully and you want to move the home screen. So we're going to add a button here. But firstly, let's add a spacer here, just to separate the login text from the button. So we're going to add a modifier here, modifier.height, sorry. Let's have a height of 40.dp. The other thing will be including a button. So this button, we're going to say text, and let's say login. So once you press login, let's work under assumption that you'll be directly moved to our home screen. So on click, so we want to pass in an callback here. So let's say on navigate. So on click, then you can say, let us say on navigate. Okay, on navigate, which will be lambda, which returns a unit. So when you click on this button here, so instead of an empty one, so we're gonna say navigate. So we're gonna navigate you to your screen. So once this is done, we are going to duplicate this same for the other screens. And so instead of creating other files to have so many screens here, and given that we only work under one small file that just navigates a button, so I'm going to place all the other screens here. I'm just going to copy this one. So, and then I'm going to just paste it here and have this one as a sign up screen. Okay, of course it's throwing an error because of duplicates here. I'm gonna say sign up screen. So I just want us to see the preview of how the we have a render problem here. So let me see where the problem is. This is the problem, sorry. So you see, we now have our preview. So we want to duplicate the same thing for our users here. So I'm gonna say sign up screen. Okay, so we're just gonna call this one sign up screen preview. And in our sign up screen, we want to change this to sign up screen. And once you click on sign up, we want to direct the user to login. So if you go to our preview, you now have sign up. So on sign up, when you click on login, we want to direct you to the login screen. And on login screen, when you click on login, we want to direct you to our home screen. So I think basically just those two screens work. So we can have forgot password and everything else. So given that we know how the preview looks like, we can just remove this, just make our code more clean. So we have login. Yeah, actually we can just include the other screen, which will be forgot password. So let's just say forgot password screen, forgot password, or maybe let's just call it reset pin screen. So when you click on reset pin screen, we want to send you to login. So let's just send you back to login. So we again work under assumption that you've been able to reset the pin successfully and you now want to go back to login. So we're just going to say here reset pin screen. Okay, so up to that point, I think everything is clear. So we can go, we can actually just copy this and everything here and do the same thing for home screen. So now in home screen, so we can just say home screen. On navigate still okay. So we can say here home screen. We can call this one profile screen, and then you can call this one, let's call it checkout screen. Maybe you've bought some items online and you need to check out. Now, so this one will be checkout screen, and our text will be checkout. So on checkout screen, you can move back to home screen. So let's just move it back to home screen. So when you click on checkout, so maybe you've done your check, you can just add one more screen just to make things a little bit easier. You can just call this one payment confirmation screen. So when you click on checkout, we redirect you to the confirmation screen. So once you are in the confirmation screen, you can just say confirmation screen. We can move you back now to home screen. So we are done with this screen. So I would want to preview our home screen. So let me just do a quick one here. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, I can just type it. So composable, maybe home screen. Just move it here back, home screen. So just remove this one here, home screen preview. And then we can have a preview here, and we're gonna show some background through. And then we can call our home screen from the package of nested navigation. This one is, nested navigation. We're gonna say on navigate, sorry, you can just move it back here. So fit it here, and we're now here in home screen. So as to why I want a preview of home is, we want to add a few buttons here. So once we're in home, we can add more buttons where you can go from checkout to login. So you can go from home. So we have button login. You can go from home to checkout, and then you can go from home again to a profile screen, profile, and then we have profile, checkout, and payment confirmation. You can go directly again from home. Maybe you can just hide the confirmation screen, so that we can see how the 4 screens will work. So we have home screen. So once you click on login, actually this should be home, sorry. So maybe let's call it sign out, or log out. So if you click on log out, we will redirect you to our login screen. So you can just have log out and have it as the last one. It looks better when it's the last button. So on this side, we have 4 buttons. So you can go from logout to login. You can go from home screen to profile screen, and you can go from home screen to checkout screen, and then from checkout screen to confirmation, and then from confirmation screen you can go back to home screen as you've done doing the payments. So all of these could have been different files, but just to make it simple, we wanted to achieve simplicity. So we are done with our authentication screens. So the next thing will be on building our main navigation. So this one should be a composable, maybe main navigation, main app navigation. Yeah, so just copy this one, go back to our main activity, and just comment this one out, and do this. Then I'll option enter to import, and we are good. So if you now launch our app, we shouldn't have any problems, given that we have not started our navigation. So everything should be fine. So we now go back to I'm going to go, okay, not close, but I'm going to go back to our main activity here. So we're going to build everything here as it should. Then we're going to separate them. So we are going to just continue with the normal way of step 1. So just going to say step 1 is to build your remember nav controller, instantiation and assigning. So we can say val nav controller equal to remember nav controller. Our second step will be the nav host, which will host and redirect to the current screen. So this one should be our step 2. Our second step will be nav host. So we're gonna do nav host. Remember to pick one with start destination and the end destination. So I'm building everything as the previous navigation, and then we're gonna separate them into different routes and then into different graphs, sorry. So our nav controller will take in our nav controller, and our start destination, we will give them to our start destination. So what will happen here, we want to create our routes as usual, but now I want us to give our routes to a separate class, separate file, so new file. So you're going to call them navigation routes. So this will be a file. So we're going to create a sealed class containing, just call them app routes. Now, these app routes will take in route of type string, and then we are going to declare all our routes here. So we have a login, so we just have a data object. So we have a home screen, which will extend the app route, and this app route requires you to provide a route. So we can just call in home. Then we can duplicate this multiple times, and then we also add checkout. We also add profile. We also add confirmations. Let's just call them confirmation screen, just for better visibility. Profile screen, the checkout screen. Then we have home screen. Now the other one was login screen, and the other one was sign up screen, and the other one was what did you call it? Reset pin screen. Reset pin screen. So we're just going to call this one reset underscore pin, and then this one we're going to call it sign up. This one login, just login is okay. Then we're going to call this one confirmation underscore, okay, let's not call it screen, let's just keep it simple. You can call this one profile, this one checkout, and this one, we have two home screens. No, let's call it home. Okay, so home, checkout, profile, confirmation, login, sign up, and reset pin. So we are done defining our routes. Ideally, we would have just still done the same thing here, just like this way. Just go back to our navigation, our main navigation. We could have just placed these items here, but I didn't want it to look, I wanted a clean approach, so just remove this one. Now, we are going to provide our start destination. So with this one, we're going to say our start should be on, first thing, once you launch the app, you should go to login screen. So we're going to say route. So route navigation, so I have so many routes here. Actually, app route dot login dot route. Okay, so we now on our step 3, where we say we now define our composables. So we have step 3. You now declare composable screens. So our first screen will be composable with the one with route. So our first screen will be login screen, so where we need now to define our app route. So our route, so app route dot login dot route, and this one will use the login screen. Not this one, login screen. There, this guy here. Now, and if you go back here, so you see we have login screen with text-based function on navigator. So once you click on the button on navigate, we need to redirect you to our home screen. So back to our main navigation. So we're gonna say here on navigate. Okay, given we are not passing any arguments or data, so we can just remove that one. So navigate, we want to call the nav controller dot navigate you to app route dot route. Okay, sorry, app route dot home screen dot route. So we want to navigate to our home screen when you click on login. So we can run and see what we have up to this point. So you see we now have login. So when you click on login, it's crashing because you haven't declared our home screen. So we can just go back to, you can see on the logs what's the problem we are facing. So here we're saying the navigation does not match, home cannot be found in the navigation graph, so there's no route like login. Now, so we can include our composable here, composable, the one with routes, and then we're gonna say our app route dot home dot route. Then we're gonna declare our home screen. Yeah, I'm gonna declare our home screen here. So if you go to home screen, it's the this is the right home screen, profile, checkout, and everything. So just make sure, yes, we're on the right home screen. So back to our navigation, we're saying here we need to provide on click, but for now, we're going to do nothing. So if we run our app, so we just want to make sure that we've successfully, you can successfully go from login to home screen, and from home screen you can go back to, if you log out, you need to go back to our other screen, which is logging in back. Now we're going to duplicate this one here. So let's just duplicate this one, copy. So this is basically what we've been doing all along. So paste, 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 and paste, and paste, because you have multiple screens. So first of all, let's finish up with the authentication screen. So we are at home. So we can move this one to the last one. Okay, it's ideally usually good to start with. Okay, you can move it here. I just want to have this one last here. And then, so after login, we have the sign up. So the sign up screen will be sign up screen, and then sign up screen, and then so if you click on sign up, we need to direct you to login screen. And then I think we had reset pin. So reset pin screen. So when you click on reset pin screen, we want to redirect you back to login screen. Login screen. So and we need to say here it's a reset pin screen that we are using here, and then the sign up, we've said it's sign up screen. So we are done with our authentication screens. So our authentication screens are these ones. So login, sign up, and reset pin. Now we go back to our home screen. Let me just move it here. Yeah, back here. So we have home screen, and in home screen we have checkout. So we need to say have our checkout screen. Checkout screen, and then here we also need to say our route is checkout. So if you click on checkout, we need to take you to confirmation screen. Now we are back to profile screen. Sorry, profile screen, and this should be profile screen. And if you click on profile, we need to redirect you back to home screen. The last one will be on logout. Do you have a logout screen? Really? Okay, let's see. That should be on home screen. Did we have a logout? So This one is payment confirmation, checkout screen, profile. Okay, we didn't have a logout screen. So this one we can call it a logout screen. So say logout screen. If you log out, we need to direct you to login screen. So back to our navigation, main navigation. So we're gonna say logout screen, and in logout we need to redirect you to login screen, and this will be our logout. Logout. Okay, logout screen. Copy that, so we don't think we have a route for this one, navigation routes. Let's duplicate that and paste logout as a logout screen. So I think up to that point everything is okay, so we can just run the app to see how our navigation is now behaving. We need to import this one, app routes. Okay, so we need to specify on our main here, it's logout screen, sorry. So we run this and see which our navigation should now behave well without any problems. So if you're in login screen, you can go to home screen, you can go to checkout screen. So okay, see the problem. So we need to handle these buttons from the home screen. So we are here in home screen with home, A, B, C, D, this one here. So you can see here. So we can have our navigate taking a string. So if you look at our preview, so we have buttons with unique text. So we have checkout, profile, and logo. So we need to specify. So instead of on navigate, our navigate will take in a string. So we're gonna say a route of type string. So we come back here to on navigate. So this one will be checkout. So you can just say actually uproute dot checkout dot route. So instead of add coding the string, so we can just have it here. So we can do this instead. So it's similar to actually saying, let's say, let's put this one here. It's actually similar to saying profile. But given that we have these already within our routes, so we can directly, instead of putting it here, so we just need to pass them here. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to replace this one. So this one will be profile. And then this guy here, just put this one here and say this one will be our logout. So this one is for home screen. So we are going to do the same thing. There's something here wrong. Something's wrong here. Okay, awesome. Now we can go back to our main navigation, so we can finish up on this. So we can use a when expression to actually navigate between them. So we can say when the route is different, and then we can say now when we switch between the routes and say it's just similar to saying when it's profile screen, move me navigate me to screen profile. So instead of hard coding this, we were going to pick the same like we picked the other one. So we're going to say up route. So just comment this out. So this was just to show you how it works. So we're going to say our up route. So when route is equal to up route dot, okay, let me just up routes, sorry, up routes dot checkout dot route navigate me to nav controller dot navigate to up routes dot checkout dot route. So ideally, it's the same. This, instead of coding this, to make things cleaner, this is what we are doing. So in short, we are saying if this equal to checkout, which we would have ideally coded it, which makes it not cleaner, we use this approach. So again, I'm just going to duplicate this 3 times. So when the route is, can't recall where it was. Yeah. So when the route is profile and logout, so we have profile and logout. Then navigate us to profile screen, and then also logout. So if we run this now, we should be able to navigate between the strings in home screen. So login, you go to login, checkout, you go to checkout. From checkout can go to confirmation. Okay, we need to handle that. We haven't handled that on confirmation, so we don't have a confirmation screen. So payment confirmation. So just on our routes, so we see if we have confirmation screen, and on our composable we are saying where is the confirmation? Actually, we don't have the confirmation, sorry. So we have our payment confirmation, Then we just say here, we need to go to, so this should be our payment confirmation, approach.confirmation. Then this one should be, from confirmation, we need to go to home screen. We can run that. So we can go from login to checkout, from checkout to confirmation, from confirmation to home screen. We can go to profile, from profile, how are we landing here? Sign up. So is profile, just log out. So in login screen, we need to add buttons for reset and there was reset pin and sign up. So on login, so is login screen, authentication screens. So just go back here and see a login here. We can duplicate these buttons here. So just copy. Okay. And then we can now use our route. We can include our parameter here. So we can say now on navigate, you will need to use approach.login screen.route. And then on also this one here, you're gonna say up route dot there was a reset pin dot route. So we can say this button is reset pin, reset pin. And then also this guy here, I'm gonna say, sorry, you're gonna say sign up, approach dot sign up screen dot route. Then this one should be sign up. So we now go back to our login and our main navigation here, and in login screen we need to now use a when statement. So we can say route and say when route, then just move this one here, sorry. There. So we're gonna say when route is equal to approach dot, this one is home screen, then navigate me to home screen dot route. We cannot duplicate this for reset pin. So when it's reset pin, take me to reset pin. When it's sign up, take me to sign up screen. So here we were saying when the route is on the root is, this one was login here. Login screen, take me to home screen. Okay, let's run this. Now, login will take you to this one. You can go to checkout. From checkout, you can go to confirm. After confirming the payments, you can go to home screen. That's okay. You can go to profile. So where is profile? So I think I know where the problem is. Profile screen. So we have home screen. Payment, logout. I need profile screen. Profile screen should say profile screen. Profile screen. Just run this again, just to make sure that the flow is smooth. You can see now we can go to reset pin. So once you've reset the pin, you can go back to login, and then from sign up, once you've done signing up, you can go back to login. From login, you can go to home screen. From home screen, you can go to checkout. Once you've checked out your item, you can go to confirm payments. When you've confirmed your payments, you can go back to home. Then from home, you can directly check your profile screen. Then from profile screen, you need to say go back home. Once you're done, maybe updating your profile picture and everything, yeah. So we go back to login, then profile. From profile screen, you can go back to home, and then from home you can log out. So if you log out, you will be required to go back to login. So I don't think we need this screen. I don't think we need a logout screen because once you click on logout, we can directly direct you to. So let me just send you back home to login screen instead. So sign up, login. So just go home. So from logout. So when you click on logout button, you go to the logout screen. Maybe you need to log out. So you can go back to login screen, but we can just remove that, but that doesn't really matter now. The next thing now would be introducing nested navigation. So we want to group navigation. So we can, I don't think there's anything we are changing from the screen. So we directly go to our main navigation here, and we want to introduce another route. So just copying this one 2 times. So we want to introduce the authentication graph and the main or the home. Now we have a home screen. So we can say the main. So we can have authentication as the path, and we can have main navigation graph here. So just remove that. So just do this. Yeah, this one is a little bit cleaner. So once we've introduced these 2 routes, we want to group them into navigation screens and screens that are at home. So we can now go back to our main navigations where everything will happen here. So remember, we made 2 authentication graphs. The authentication graphs where the authentication screens will sit, and the home graph where the profile, checkout, and every other screen will sit. So we're going to create a function here called so we need nav graph builder. Nav graph builder. We can call it the auth graph, the authentication graph, graph P. And then we want to move all screens related to authentication here. So we can go back to our main navigation and cut everything from this one. This one is sign up, login. Yes, we can remove these 3 screens here, and then come here and have we introduce navigation. Okay, not here. Not the class. So I think I introduced the wrong thing here. So we are on home navigation. Let me just cut here and paste it here so that we have the right files reflecting the right thing. So we're gonna say navigation. So our navigation takes in start, destination, and the route. So we're gonna paste all the other screens here. So just remove this. And in our navigation, if you hover around here, we need to provide a start destination. So our start destination will be, so we, of course, starting with the login. So we're going to say app route dot login dot screen. Okay, login screen dot route. Then we are required to provide the route. Now our route will be all other screens that go that are in the authentication path. So we're gonna say app route dot auth dot route. So this auth will hold path for every other authentication screen. So we go back to our authentication graph. Then we're going to remove all other screens related to authentication. Did I already cut them? Yeah, okay, just cut them. Then come and paste them here. Yeah, our authentication graph will take in nav controller of type nav controller of type nav controller. So up to this point, I hope everything is just very simple as it was. So the only thing we've introduced here is the navigation, and there is navigation graph builder. So we are building this graph based on this small function, which will control everything else. That's why we're saying our first route, our first screen will be our login screen, which will fall under the route of the authentication. This guy here, authentication here. Now the same thing will happen for home. So just create another function and say nav graph builder dot let's call it home navigation graph, which will take in nav controller of type nav controller, and then we want to introduce a navigation. And in our navigation, we said our start destination will be home. So the first screen within that group is the home screen. So we're going to say app route dot home screen dot route. And then the route that it will follow, the graph that we will follow here using the route will be our app route dot home. How did we name it? Just a second. So this one here, main, we call it main, sorry. Dot main, approach dot main dot route. Then we are going to take every other screens that are in the home screen to our here. So we'll go back to navigation. Everything else remaining, any other screen that is in home, we'll just cut them off. And then go to our home here and paste them there. So just format it. Yes. So we are good. So remember, we just introduced nothing fancy, a graph builder, and assign it a function name of that. And we just introduced the navigation here. So if we now go back here, let me just optimize the imports. So it's Control Option O. We can just remove this. We can just remove those comments. So we now need to just call in, we just need to call in our graphs here. So we remember we add an authentication graph, which takes in nav controller, which we've passed here. And then our other graph was on, did we call it main or home? Home navigation graph, which takes in the nav controller. Yeah, and we are done. Basically, it's that easy, nothing technical. So if we now run our application, we should be able to see our navigation as okay, just a second, just run it. Okay, we have a crash in here. So let's just see where the problem is. So, so navigation destination login is not a direct call of the login of the child graph. So, okay, this is the problem. Now, our start destination will be the starting graph, so which will be the route related to the login screen, which is related to the graph in the authentication one. So we're going to say our start destination will be app route dot dot authentication dot route. So we are using this route, and if you go to the authentication route, our graph holding the authentication, here on, you see our start destination is mapped to the login screen, and it maps to the graph containing this one. So if we now run, we should be good. Yeah, we're now good. So you can go to login, you can go to profile, you can come back home, go to logout, go back to login screen, go to checkout, you can go to confirmation screen, home, and yeah, so we could just pop up to once you are home. So if you are on, if we click on logout and login, maybe home. So let's say when you are, once you are in home screen, we can pop up there so that you cannot go back to login because maybe probably we might have saved your token. So we can go back to where our home screen is, where we are handling our navigation for home. So just close this one again. So we need to handle to clear the back stack. So because if you see how we are navigating, so if you go back from confirmation, we keep looking back. So anyway, we're coming back to our home screen. So maybe from, let's say, checkout, confirmation, from confirmation screen. So we just go back to where our confirmation screen is. So we have checkout screen, payment, confirmation. So what you can do here is just say pop up to up route dot home screen dot route, and then can have inclusive equal to true. Yeah, so from this, I think we can now handle our backstack. So you just clear our backstack. So once you are home, you directly exit. So maybe you have logged in. Same thing will apply to other screens. So from confirmation, from home, if you now go back, you can see we are now clearing the application. We are not actually going double any other backstack. So once again, just run the app, go to login, go to checkout, go to confirmation, and then go back home. So you just do this once. So we are now exiting back, and then you can exit the app. So that is it, guys. In the next episode, we're going to introduce serialization and type safe navigation. See you. Make sure you subscribe and practice.